Good morning, everyone. Welcome to AMHQ Early. It is Monday, June the 6th, 2016. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno.
And I'm meteorologist Kelly Cash. Jen's fresh from the beach in Florida.
And we're watching the beach.
Your timing was perfect. You had great weather while you were there. And now, unfortunately, we've got Colin that is set to dump a ton of rain on the state.
Yeah, we're watching areas like Tampa and Sarasota and up to the north and even across the state of Florida to Jacksonville. Already out there, storm warnings are up as well. And we want to start right with Tropical Storm Colin with the new advisory that has just come in. Now, hurricane hunters are out here flying through and giving us new information about what's happening inside Colin. They found some stronger winds. So winds have now been bumped up to 50 miles per hour. Pressure at 1,004. Movement to the north-northeast at 14. That's another slight change. It's been generally moving north so far for its life. Now it's made a little bit more to that north-northeast turn. And that's the turn we are expecting and why we are expecting a landfall somewhere in the Big Bend area here of Florida. So let's talk about that. We got tropical storm warnings up, stretching all the way here just to the east of Apalachicola, continuing through Cedar Key, including the Tampa and Sarasota area, but also right across the peninsula. Inland counties have tropical storm warnings up as well. Expecting winds gusting in excess of tropical storm force. You could see 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts easily with some of the heavier rain and storms. Plus Jacksonville down through the Palm Coast. We've got a warning there for you as well. The storm's a quick mover. It's going to pick up some speed and we are going to see it make some landfall later today and then overnight tonight, moving out over to sea by tomorrow morning in the Atlantic side, as you can see. So here's the timing and the cone of uncertainty. You can also see that it's fairly narrow. It is going to pick up speed. It is going to continue on its track here towards the Big Bend area of Florida throughout the day today, making a landfall later on. And then as you get into the overnight, crossing over, maybe South Georgia experiencing conditions from this as well. Certainly there's going to be a much larger rainfall shield. This is for the track of the center of the circulation. And we'll see that likely staying offshore as it moves and parallels right along that southeastern South Carolina coast. All right, so looking at the rain, and I mentioned the big broad width of it here. Tropical storm force winds extend out 185 miles per hour. So we are going to see a pretty large cloud shield with this as well, and a large rain shield as well as you can see. Got a couple of showers out there right now on I-10. Jacksonville, we're already getting some rain to start your day, and it is going to be a flood threat, I think, for Jacksonville. Flood watches are up there as well. St. Johns River, we'll have to watch closely for those areas that typically flood. As this moves through, early tomorrow morning, you get some pretty heavy rainfall. The potential is there for widespread 2 to 4 inches of rain. There could be spots that get 5 to 8 inches of rainfall. As you can see in our forecast right here, we're looking at that area mainly to the north of Tampa, extending right over towards Jacksonville. All right, so this is certainly our big topic this morning, Kelly, to keep watching. Here, get ready for a big warm-up building across a good chunk of the middle of the country, and eventually that moves east. We're going to start with what happens early in the week, which is still a big ridge across the west. Today is going to be another well above average day across the northwest. Not as warm in the southwest, but not cool by any stretch either. So we take a look at this and we see that bubble of heat building and moving east. So by the middle of the week, we're going to see it here right across portions of the Dakotas, Minnesota, Iowa. Get ready. Your temperatures going up above average. This is going to be the kind of weather where the kids are not out of school just yet. They're going to be rushing to the pools right after school. Temperatures are going to start off with 80s in Seattle, which is close to 20 degrees above average. I mean, look at Boise, 96 degrees. Phoenix, we're going to be 112. So we are way up there as well. Chance of hitting a couple of records, maybe in Arizona, Phoenix, one of those spots, up towards Salt Lake City, and then here into the northwest. That's going to be the real hot spot for today. As we get you into the forecast today here, Phoenix, 112, the record high. We could tie that for today. Vegas, we're coming close within 2 degrees. Tucson, we're likely to surpass it. We're going 112. Your forecast to beat is 108, or the record to beat, I should say, is 108. All right, so tomorrow a smidge cooler. It's just a couple of degrees cooler, not by much, but you'll see this heat shifting east. So by Wednesday, we're now in the mid-80s around Omaha. It's a couple degrees above average. That's not unusual, right? It's not record-breaking. As we get you into Thursday, now we're 95 degrees in Omaha. Again, still not likely to break records there, but we're going to come close to some of those record-high temperatures. Nashville, for us, get ready. Our first real extended stretch of heat, getting close to 100 by the time we get here to the weekend. Look at these 97s. Ooh. Kelly, I mean, always our weekend in view, and this weekend in Nashville, you got to have the pool in view.
Yeah, they got a lot going on.
Half past the hour. Welcome back to a busy Monday in AMHQ Early. We're going to get you out the door with the weather information you need this morning.
And it's all about Tropical Storm Colin, which has strengthened this morning in the Gulf of Mexico. We're already seeing some heavy rain along
where it is right now, time it out to where it's going and how strong it's expected to get. We've got everything you need and want to know about Tropical Storm Colin. We start with the latest. It has increased to winds of 50 miles per hour. This is as of the latest advisory that came in this morning at 5 a.m. Eastern Time, 4 a.m. Central Time. That said, the hurricane hunters did find some gustier winds as they were flying through. Those winds may be associated with thunderstorms, so hard to say exactly the exact speed, but there was enough evidence to move it up to 50 miles per hour. Also, the central point, right now it's located about 360 miles west-southwest of Tampa, Florida. They actually found two different centers of location, so kind of split the center for it. But you know what that tells us is that it's fairly disorganized, and when you get a system that's fairly disorganized and as big as sprawling as it is, it's not likely to strengthen significantly. So probably what you see is what you get as it continues on that north-northeast track and maybe making a little more northeast track here heading towards the Big Bend area of Florida by this evening. Now, tropical storm warnings are up. Cedar Key, you're in it. Tampa, you're in it. Jacksonville, you're in it. And points in between. Lake City, Gainesville, also under tropical storm warnings. Expecting tropical storm force winds when you look at that. So let's take it out and give you the forecast here. It's a very narrow cone. The models have been very much in agreement as to where this is going. There's certainly some very strong steering currents here, so we're likely to see this path here and timing here, pretty high confidence in it later today into this evening, making a landfall, then crossing over northern Florida, maybe south parts of southwestern or southeastern Georgia, and then extending out by tomorrow morning into the Atlantic Ocean. And this forecast is for the center of circulation. It's a fairly large system with a lot of rain, a lot of clouds, and so we're going to see the impacts much larger area than what you see with that cone. Right now, you can see how the rain is extending all the way up into Tampa. We've got showers out there, some thunderstorms, some with heavy rain. We are going to see a lot more of that today, and because of the extended period, about 12 to 24 hours of pretty heavy rain, big rainfall totals are going to be one of the main concerns. We put this forecast into motion. This is our model forecast, our future radar. You can see how we're going to get some rounds of rain coming in through today, especially from Tampa on up here through the Big Bend area, right up over into Jacksonville. And then by tomorrow, and this is tomorrow evening, it's gone. No sign of it. It's well out into the Atlantic Ocean, and we'll be back to our normal thunderstorm in the afternoon as usual pattern that we have here in Florida. So it really is a today and overnight tonight and early tomorrow story. We've got a widespread area of 5 to 8 inches of rain. Concerns for that extend all the way up to the Jacksonville area where we could get 3 to 5, 5 to 8 plus, and Charleston, South Carolina. Pretty saturated ground. Concerned about more rain coming in and that threat for flooding. Kelly. Look ahead to the weekend in view. Tropical Storm Colin is a today and it's a tonight and early tomorrow morning story, and then after that it is out to sea and it will go out into the Atlantic. So we'll see that, of course, be a big player in our forecast for today. Also a little front that's moving in here, a little disturbance heading into the northeast, Midwest today, northeast tomorrow, bringing a couple of showers and storms and much cooler air behind it, running a little below average actually. You'll feel that getting into Wednesday. A couple of showers still lingering in the northeast on Wednesday. I would say the next big weather story that we have getting into the rest of the week and the weekend is the heat that's building, and we'll feel it on Thursday in Fargo, 92. That kind of heat is building. By Friday, Fargo, you're nearly 100. We're going to see that bubble of heat expanding. Atlanta heading to an extended stretch in the 90s. Chicago, we're in the 90s. Nashville, we are in the upper 90s. Tough for all the big outdoor events. Kelly, the Wall Street Journal did an article last year actually on shelfies, and it's not actually someone taking a picture with a storm cloud like this. A hashtag shelfie is someone putting stuff and arranging them on a shelf.
On a shelf? An actual shelf?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, we're going to change that.
Yes, it's all about the weather here, right? All right, that's why you're here. We've got the latest on Tropical Storm Colin, so we'll take you out to that. Right now, we have winds at 50 miles per hour. This is the latest advisory in from the National Hurricane Center. Came in this morning at just about 4 o'clock Central Time. Now, it's moving to the north-northeast at 14. There's been two changes. If you've been following this since late overnight last night, one change is that it's taken a little more of a northeast movement. The other is that the winds are now up to 50 miles per hour. So there has been some increase in strength. It's still fairly disorganized, and it is going to not likely increase very much in strength. That said, tropical storm force warnings are up, and we've got tropical storm warnings inland as well. So Tampa, Cedar Key, you're in it. Gainesville, Lake City, also under a tropical storm warning. Jacksonville, under 1 as well. We'll track it for you. I want to show you the cone. I want to point out something. 2 things, actually. It's a narrow cone, meaning there's a generally high confidence in the forecast track. But this cone is actually just for the center of circulation. The impacts will be much more outreaching. It is a large system, tropical storm force winds extending out about 185 miles right now. So the rain is going to be much more widespread in terms of the areas affected. That cone was for the timing and for the center of circulation. Timing later tonight into this evening, say about 7, 8 o'clock, expecting a landfall here in the Big Bend area of Florida. So here we go with the rain right now. Again, this is the area that we'll watch later today, perhaps for a landfall. We are going to be looking for the rain, though, much more widespread than that, as you can see. And already we got a heavier batch of showers and possible thunderstorms heading in towards Sarasota. We'll see if that swings on up here into the Tampa area as well as we get you in through the morning commute. Rain on the roads is going to be a big hazard today. Rain and too much rain causing some flooding is going to be another hazard as well. Panama City getting soaked with some rain right now. We got rain in South Georgia. There's going to be more of that. And we put this forecast model into motion with our future radar. You'll see rain heavy at times moving in here across northern Florida. Jacksonville getting the big rain overnight tonight, and even Charleston tomorrow morning could see some big rain. But then it's out of here. Look how quickly this moves out over the Atlantic Ocean and out to sea. So it really is today, overnight tonight, and then early tomorrow morning that we will see the impacts. Rainfall on the order of 5 to 8 inches. Flooding will be a concern. Flood watches are up. We'll see some big rain here into South Georgia and South Carolina as well. All right, let's track another big